Alright, I'm ready. This year it would appear that we skipped spring completely and we went straight to summer, which I'm completely fine with. It's beautiful outside, it's warm. It puts you in a good mood when you get up in the morning and it just makes you feel warm inside and outside because it's a lot warmer. However, with the summer and the sunny weather, obviously there's a downside for people like us who make a lot of films and photos. Overexposed images and that horrible blown out video and everything's white and overexposed and ruined and there's nothing you can do to rescue it. So today, let's talk about ND filters. Let's go. If you're new to my channel, I am a Sony user and I teach you all kinds of things about using Sony cameras and making films and videos and that kind of thing. So if that's something you're interested, you might want to click that subscribe button down below. I don't think you're going to regret it. All right, on to the video. So what are ND filters? I'm sure you probably know, but if you don't, I'm gonna use the analogy that everybody uses. Basically, they are sunglasses for your camera lens. Why do you use sunglasses? Well, you go outside, it's too bright, you gotta put them on. Your eyes don't like the bright weather, and nor does your camera sensor. So, sometimes you have to put an ND filter on to bring those levels down a little bit, bring that exposure down a little bit, and allow you to shoot at the settings that you want to shoot at. For example, if you want to shoot like an f2 outside, and it's crazy bright outside, you can compensate that a little bit by cranking your shutter speed all the way up, but you're gonna lose your cinematic blur, you're gonna use the rules of the 180-degree rule, I just said rule a lot. I talk about that up here if you want to watch that video. Your cinematic blur disappears, so yeah, you want to use an ND filter when you can if you're shooting outside in the sunny weather. You can buy different ones, ND4, ND8, ND16, 32, those are common ones. You can also get a variable ND filter, which is kind of like one where you can turn the front and it goes from being like an ND4, ND8, ND16, you can set that specifically by turning the ring. Now those are quite expensive. When it comes to changing the way your image looks, you don't really want to put something cheap on a really expensive lens because that lens is expensive and has good glass, and then you put a piece of cheaper glass on it, it might degrade your image quality, it might give you some weird effects, it might change your glare a little bit, so yeah, that's something to bear in mind. The good people at Polar Pro just sent me some of their cinema? What is a cinema? It's cinema series quartz line ND filters, and these are also polarizing filters built in too. I'll talk about those in a bit. So I was literally looking at purchasing some more expensive ND filters and some higher quality ones, and yeah, they sent me these, so thank you Polar Pro. I'm sure you know who Polar Pro are. They make a lot of the little polarizing adapters and ND filters and those kinds of things for drones, and now they've kind of got into the full frame and DSLR and mirrorless filter market too, so this is their first endeavor towards that. So they sent me two. They sent me an ND8 and an ND16. If you put the ND8 on your camera, it would allow you to shoot at a 1/60th of a second. And if you didn't have it on there, it would be equivalent of about 1/500th of a second. So this would drop you down from 1/500th of a second to 1/60th of a second. So that's how you can continue to get the settings that you want to use and darken your image with an ND8. An ND16 does a similar thing, but it darkens it even more. So if it's really bright outside, this would allow you to continue shooting at 1/60th of a second, whereas if you didn't have it on there, you'd be at around 1/1000th of a second. So this darkens it even more.
Here is no ND filter 1/50th of a second at f4, and then with the ND16 on there at 1/50th of a second, f4 properly exposed, and then no ND filter to get it to the properly exposed amount is 1/1000th of a second at f4.
So perfect for keeping that cinematic blur and allowing you to shoot at the settings you want to use when it's bright outside. You can buy a polarizing filter on its own if you wanted to, but these come with them built in, which is really useful. So polarizing filters can do a few different things. They can help cut glare from if you wanted to shoot through a window. If you were shooting some water, it would kind of cut the reflection off that water. It means you wouldn't have as much glare from the sun, again, if you're outside. The reflection of the sun wouldn't be on the water as much. If you wanted to shoot directly through a window instead of just getting the reflection on the outside, that's where a polarizing filter would help you out. Basically anything shiny, it's gonna cut that down and it's gonna allow you to kind of get a nicer image of what would otherwise be just a reflection or something shiny. Also, they can have a really nice effect on the sky and like the water. It really just deepens those blues, makes them look a lot nicer, a lot more dramatic in the camera, opposed to you doing that after the fact. Just makes your image look nicer too. So I haven't opened this one yet. This is the ND8. So I'll show you what you get when you pick one of these up. So inside your box, you get two things. You get this, oh, that smells good. I really like it when companies make products smell good. That sounds very strange, but when you open a box and you get a really nice smell, I like that. Well done, Polar Pro. So this is a really smooth kind of pouch that you can put the ND filter in. So it just gives you a little bit of protection. Throw that in your bag, don't have to worry, it's good. And here's the case that they come in, and it has a little label on there as well, just showing you what the actual filter is. So if you have a ton of these inside your bag and you don't know which one's which, normally you'd have to open them up or put a label on it. You don't have to. Well done. This is really nicely made, matte black, which we like. Very silky smooth finish on there. And if you want to open it up here, there you go. Look at that. Beautiful filter. All black around the edge there. That's actually brass. Very high quality filter. It's different to any filter I've ever seen before. So there's a couple of things from their website here I'm just gonna read you. Kind of good to know. It's made of 99.9% pure fused quartz. Fused quartz is a rare and premium element with a lower refractive index than any glass used in camera filters today. That's cool. It has an ND coating, precisely coated to reduce the exact transmission without color shift. What does that mean for you? When you buy cheap filters, sometimes it can change the color a little bit, especially when you turn it. If you have a variable filter, or even just any of the light coming in, it can change the color of how that looks. Not gonna have that problem with these. So it has a coating on it that reduces reflection down from 3.45% down to 0.4%. So a big reduction in the reflections that are gonna come through. And it has anti-scratch on there, so if you do somehow manage to do something to this to make it scratch, it's not gonna scratch as easy. So again, a good thing. As I said before, this is actually made of brass. So the reason that they use brass is a harder metal. You're gonna be screwing this on and off a lot, so it's smoother to go on when it's a harder metal. There's less chance of it threading or anything like that. So good choice to go with the brass. They just look nice too. Those things are directly from their website, but I wanted to tell you about them because those are useful things for you to know. Here's a few shots from a wedding I shot last weekend. Look how deep and dark and nice the sky is and how kind of anti-reflective the water is. Very impressed with that image. I'm gonna continue to use these throughout summer. I honestly think it makes a big difference and it just makes it look a lot more dramatic. Very impressed. Because it's an ND16 I was using on that, it allows you to use a little bit of a shallower depth of field, opposed to me using like an f22 because it's insanely bright outside. I think that was like an f4 on the Sigma 16mm I was using that with. Here's an example of if you wanted to keep a low aperture and have that nice bokeh and you were to walk outside and what would happen. So I'm at f4 and we're inside and this is how I like it. It's exposed nicely. Let's walk outside and see what happens. And there you go. That is why you need an ND filter. So if you don't have yourself an ND filter, I would highly recommend these. I'm not just gonna recommend you a product that I don't see myself using, and I am gonna continue to use these for weddings throughout the summer. Very happy with how the image looked, and if you're looking for ND filters, maybe give these a go. And a pro tip for you as well, not all my lenses are 77mm. Some of my lenses are smaller than that. Always buy the thread size you need for the biggest lens that you have. You can buy step-up rings from Amazon. Step-up rings basically change your thread size to go from whatever you want, like a 50 all the way up to a 72 or a 77. You just screw on the rings and they make it bigger and allow you to put bigger filters on your smaller lenses. So you don't have to buy one of these for each of your lenses. Buy one, buy step-up rings, you're good. I think they were like $15. I'll list the ones below that I use. Very happy with them. Every time I film videos, my dog decides to just walk around. You just hear pitter patter, pitter patter. Now he's drinking water. Come on, mate. Trying to film a video here. Let's go. Every time. He wouldn't stop walking around, so I just decided to pick him up instead. He's gone. So that is ND filters, why you need to use them, why they're useful to use in the summer sun. And yeah, if you're looking for an ND filter, maybe give those Polar Pro ones a go. Very nice. I don't think you'll be disappointed with them. I appreciate you watching today. If you're not part of my channel already, you know what to do. Subscribe down below. Hit that like button if you'd be so kind. If I taught you something today, or if you just like this video, give it a like, thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. See ya. Also comes with a very nice lens cloth. You can never have another. You can never have enough of those. You can never have enough. Why can't I say that? You can never have enough of those. There we go. 5th time. That took me 5 times to say that.